the Plumbing and HVAC Internet Marketing Show. Discover how to market your plumbing or HVAC business online. From SEO and PPC to Google Maps, reputation management, and social media marketing, we share the ideas and strategies to get your phone ringing, trucks running, and business booming.
All right, well, awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this live webinar, your 2018 Internet Marketing Plan for Plumbing and HVAC Contractors. And I could not be more excited that you took the time out of your busy schedule to join me. And I want to assure you, this is going to be a really action-packed session filled with ideas and strategies to really help you maximize your lead flow going into 2018. Now, a couple of housekeeping things I want to make sure we talk about. First of all, what we're going to cover, right? Today, we're going to set clear goals for 2018. And a lot of you guys are go-getters. I was kind of chatting with some of you as we started this session. Lots of $6-10 million a year guys. You've got goals. And so it's not lost on me that, this isn't your first rodeo. I'm not teaching you how to set goals. But I do want to spend some time getting clarity on what those goals are, and more importantly, what you have to do from a marketing perspective, from an internet marketing perspective, to hit those goals. So we're going to drill down and really get some clarity on how many leads you're going to need to generate, and a little bit of an idea how much would need to be invested in an average cost per lead in order to accomplish those goals. So it's a powerful start to what we're going to do. From there, we're going to talk about the online marketing fundamentals and really kind of go back to the basics of who your customer is, why they should choose you, and how to put out a message that's going to resonate with your target audience. It's good to revisit that at least once a year, get clarity on who your customer is, kind of update your messaging, and make sure that it's on point and that it can resonate as effectively as possible. We're going to spend some time talking about how to optimize your website for conversion in 2018 and beyond. Websites are constantly changing, platforms are constantly changing. We've done a lot of study on what's working, what's converting at the highest level possible based on our data and our analytics. And we're going to share with you some examples. We're going to look at some of you guys' sites while we're live, kind of piece together what you need to do in order to make sure your website, which is the hub, is set to be as efficient as possible. And then we're going to look at the big picture online marketing opportunities for you as a plumbing or HVAC business owner. What are the different channels that are going to be most important for you this year that you should be aware of, you should probably be playing in, and you should be testing. And then from there, we're going to develop a custom plan of action based on all those initiatives, based on where you're at, where you're looking to go in your plumbing or HVAC business, and walk away with some very specific actionables that you can take action on right now in the first quarter of 2018 to really accelerate your growth going into the rest of the year, so that ideally you can meet or exceed those goals. So I'm really excited about it. I think you're going to get great value from what we're sharing, but I really need you to pay attention. In this world where we've got cell phones, we've got social media, we've got people in our offices and things going on, I'm going to encourage you get the most value if you're really in the moment. So I'd say turn off your cell phone, turn off Facebook. If you've got, like me, multiple screens, close the other windows, and just focus on this. If you're the owner of a plumbing or HVAC business and you're serious about getting better results in 2018, this next 60 to 90 minutes could be a complete game changer for you. So give it the attention that it needs. I promise you, I'm going to bring everything I have and make this as impactful and valuable as possible. So let's just focus on it. And I really want to encourage you to stay through the end. I'm going to share a lot of interesting stuff. I've got a lot of stuff to cover, as you guys saw. There's a 27-page workbook that goes along with this workshop. I'm going to try and keep it to at least to no more than an hour and a half, but I want you to stick with me. So I do have some bonuses for those of you that stick around to the end. One of the things we're going to talk about in depth is the digital dominance method, something that we developed that really touches on the key things you should be doing to truly maximize your lead flow. And so if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a digital copy of this that's high resolution. So if you wanted to print it out, if you wanted to have it up on the wall, you'd be able to take that and use it. Extremely powerful. I'm going to give you a checklist that you can take. It's called the Ultimate Online Marketing Checklist for Plumbing and HVAC. And it just kind of drills down on this hour-long content. What are the top one-page checklist items that you need to look at? And I find that it's very powerful in just zeroing in on the 3 to 5 things that you could do that would have the biggest impact. And the other thing is I'm going to give you our updated list of the most commonly searched plumbing and HVAC keywords. In online marketing, keywords is critical, right? What are the people typing when they need your services? And so we constantly update this. Actually, almost on a quarterly basis we update it, but this is the brand new version for 2018. So I'm going to give you that list of the most commonly searched keywords, again, as my bonus for you sticking around. I knew you've got other things to do, but I really feel like this is going to be useful for you. So those are my ethical bribes to keep you on the webinar live. So really brief, who am I and why should you listen? My name is Josh Nelson. I'm the founder and CEO of Plumbing and HVAC SEO. We're an internet marketing agency serving the plumbing and HVAC space. I'm an author of the book, How to Triple Your Sales by Getting Your Internet Marketing Right. Some of you may have read it. Some of you, I might have mailed it to you. But it's all about how to triple your sales in your plumbing or HVAC business through effective internet marketing. I'm actively involved in PHCC, QSC, Service Roundtable, Nexstar. A lot of my articles on internet marketing have been published in Plumbing and Mechanical Magazine, Contractor Magazine, HVAC Insider. But really more than any of that stuff, I would say that I've had the opportunity to work one-on-one with plumbing and HVAC companies throughout the country. And I've been able to see a lot of them go from virtually no placement online, where they're just relatively obscure, to the point where they now dominate their local markets. A lot of them getting hundreds of calls every single month via the internet. Several of them have gone from 1 or 2 million to 3 to 5 million. And a lot of that has had to do with getting their internet marketing right, truly maximizing their lead flow. So what I'm sharing with you isn't based on some webinar that I said on one day or a book that I read. It's based on real world experience implementing these ideas and strategies over the last 10 years for plumbing and HVAC companies like yours. And it's proven. And so that's what you're going to be able to tap into as we go through today's session. I will say this is what we do. Got a picture of our company up on the screen. This is our team. We work with plumbing and HVAC companies. We set up the websites. We manage the paid campaigns. We write the content. We leverage the social media and email marketing. It's what we do. And so if at some point during this presentation you're interested, you say, you know what, I'd like to talk with Josh about doing this for us or possibly helping us in our online marketing, love to have that opportunity. We'll make sure you have all our contact information. But again, that's not the purpose of today's session. Today's session is really about arming you with a great plan to knock it out of the park in 2018. So with that said, let's dive in. Again, I couldn't be more excited to share this with you. The first thing I want to make sure, for those of you that showed up late, and a lot of you did come in a little bit later in the game, you want to make sure that you've downloaded this workbook. It's the Your 2018 Internet Marketing Plan Workbook. You can download it at plumberseo.net/workbook, and I did put a link in chat. And it's 27 pages, and we're going to work through this today. So hopefully you printed it. If you didn't, a scratch pad will work. But I just want to encourage, if you're just going to sit back and listen, you'll get a certain amount of value out of today's session. If you're going to engage, write down and go through with me on the exercises, you'll get even more value out of it. So it looks like there's a hand raised here and a couple questions that have come in. So I'm going to see if there's anything that needs to be addressed, just to give you guys a couple seconds to download that workbook. So Mark was asking where he can find the contents of the chat. I'm not sure. I know that I see the chat as it comes in. I'm not sure if you guys do. Let me put this up on my screen. Ideally, you'd see it. Sandra's asking if this is going to be recorded. Yes. Actually, a couple people asked if it was going to be recorded. And Jeremy says he's got it printed. Teresa's asking where she gets the workbook. I'm going to put it in chat one more time. Make sure it's available to all of you. And okay, so now you guys should all have that link if you haven't downloaded it. We got a lot to cover, so let's dive in. I promise to keep the chat box open, so as you're asking questions, I want to make this as interactive as possible. And you're here live, I'm here live. Let's engage, let's talk, let's get your questions answered. So you can use the chat function, or you can go to the questions box and type your questions in there, and I'll get an alert as that comes in. So as we look at this plan, the place to start is your goals. Now, what are your goals? What are your targets for 2018? Brian Tracy has got a great program called the Ultimate Goals Program. I absolutely love it. I've been through it a couple times over the years. And one of my favorite quotes from that whole program is success is goals, all else is commentary. So everything that you do, and you get busy in your day-to-day, finding technicians, truck broke down, phones are ringing too much with this freeze that's going on, too many calls, booked like a week in advance. All of that is commentary, right? Really what's going to move you forward is clarity around your goals. And so if you've already done this, and maybe you've done it a couple times this year, just bear with me. I want to spend a little time getting clarity on what the goals are for 2018. So for those of you that already have this information, go ahead and jump start into the chat area. Type in, okay, my goal for the year is X. And some of you already did this in the beginning, but just type it in. I want to keep this interactive. I want to make sure you guys are with me on the other end, hearing what I'm saying, and we got a live conversation going on. So if you could, transport yourself to January 2019, and you're looking back and you say, okay, what were my goals for 2018? And everything went perfect. What would you have done? How much revenue? How many technicians would you have? Kind of share some of that stuff with me. And so Joe here is saying he's going to do $1 million. Mike's going to do 300K. Sandra says clarity is huge for success. Absolutely true. So whatever your number is, and so some of you have mentioned, in the million. Some of you, I think one person mentioned 10 million. In order to get there, how much revenue would you have to generate on a monthly basis? That'll give you clarity. Your mind can set a goal a year out, but accomplishment usually breaks that down into 30 and 90-day chunks. So divide that out, figure out what your monthly would be. And then, really kind of more interesting is how many calls would you have to run as an organization in order to hit that goal? And so that really, you need to know what your average transaction value is. And so for some of you guys, I know it's $500, $600 a month, some higher than that, others it's less. So using your own numbers, what I want you to do in the worksheet or on a scratch pad, fill that in. What's your monthly target? What's your average transaction value? And that'll help you determine how many calls you have to run in order to accomplish your goals. So just as an example of this, I'm going to put some numbers in. And Tara LeBlanc, 2018, 1.8 million, awesome. Jeff, average transaction value is $650. Good, that's a good average transaction value. Always want to be looking to increase that. So let's say your target was 1.5. And we got guys doing a lot more, we got guys doing a lot less. But let's say that's the target. We divide that by 12, that's $125,000 per month that needs to be generated. So then we can figure out in here what our average transaction value is. So let's just use 405, a low average. That would mean you need about 308 service calls per month in order to get to 125. And you'd have to do that sequentially over 12 months to get to 1.5 million. So let's see, how many of you guys have done this math? So Jeff's saying he's got to do 112 a month. He's got to do 655 average transaction. So he's going to do 170 jobs per month in order to hit his target. That kind of clarity helps you get clear. Okay, now I know how many jobs we got to run. And you can go as deep with this as you want. I think Joe Grady's on here. He's got some great training on, how do you drill this down even more? And what does your close rate have to be? And all of that. This is just to give you the big picture. How much revenue do you need to do? How many jobs do you need to run in order to hit that goal? And from there, as it relates to this marketing stuff, you have to take it one step further because you need to know how many leads you need to generate in order to hit that goal. Because if you don't have a clear target, any amount works. So in order to figure that piece out, and again, if you're working with me, we're on the second page of the worksheet, you have to figure out what is the average conversion rate from lead to booked call. So if 10 people call into your office and you guys answer the phones and you're really good, what percentage of them turn into a booked job? And then if you divide that number by your goal, it'll give you an idea how many leads you need to generate in order to accomplish your target. So, average conversion rate, let's just use 55. We've got, again, hundreds of clients throughout the country. Some of them are converting it in 20 to 30% range. Others are converting maybe at like the 60 to 70% range. You should know your numbers, and everybody's different. But let's just use an average 55%. So if we divide the call target by the conversion rate, so we want 308 jobs at a 55% conversion rate, that means we need 560 leads per month. So, I mean, it's relatively simple math, but maybe you've never done this math. Maybe you've never really figured out how many leads you need to generate in order to accomplish your goal. So, in the questions box, or at least on your workbook, this is one of the most powerful things you're going to do in 2018. Get clarity on what you want to accomplish, what you have to do in order to get there, and then how many leads have to be generated to make it happen. So what's your goal for 2018? How many leads do you need to generate in order to get there? So interact with me, guys. I know there's a lot of you on this call. So looks like Jeff, thanks for engaging. Jeff is saying 650 average transaction value, 170 jobs per month, 78% conversion rate. That would be very high, but if it's true, that's fantastic. So we need 218 leads per month in order to hit his goal. Awesome. So I want all of you guys to get that kind of clarity, because when you're clear on how many leads you need, then you can go to the traffic store, right? You could say, all right, let's do some SEO. Let's do some pay-per-click. Let's do some pay-per-lead services or Google local services. And tap in, and I'm going to be sharing all the best channels that you should tap into to really maximize your lead flow. But how many leads is enough, right? This is how you get that clarity. And so Tom says, yes, pay-per-lead. He likes pay-per-lead. Some people do, some people don't. You have to have a good strategy for converting those. I'm just checking in to make sure I'm not missing any important questions. Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you guys for your interaction on this. So hopefully you've got this fleshed out. I want you to shoot me an email after today's session. Just a separate email, goals for 2018. Whether we wind up doing something together or not, whether you choose to join me on the journey I'm gonna share with you for 2018 or not, just shoot me an email for your own personal accountability. What I find is when you have clarity of a goal and you write it down and then you share it with somebody else, you significantly improve the probability of bringing that into reality. So you and I might never speak in person. We might not ever have much interaction, but if you send me that email, my goals for 2018, 1.8 million, 312 jobs, 577 leads, that's going to be powerful. So that's my first piece of homework for you. Send me an email and hold yourself accountable in that way. So from there, we got to talk about the fundamentals of marketing. And we're going back to Marketing 101, and you might look at this and say, Josh, why are we talking about market, message, and media? Isn't that just so basic? And the fact is, the fundamentals in sporting and anything else is how the game is won. So it's always good to spend a little time at the beginning of each year and kind of revisit this. Who's my customer? Why should they choose me? And then what's the best way to reach them? So market, message, media, that's really where it's at. So I want to spend a little bit of time just getting clarity on your workbook, or on page 3, on who your ideal customer is. And spend a little time developing an avatar. And I've got a lot of marketing background. I've gone to literally hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of marketing training. Some of you guys have had a lot of marketing training, so you have not done much, but I'm sure most of you have heard of this concept of having an avatar. And I'll tell you, it's extremely powerful to spend some time working on this. And even me as a marketer, it was 5 or 6 years in before I started to say, yeah, I should spend some time writing out the pains, the frustrations, the demographics, the psychographics of my customers. So that's why I thought it would be good to spend a little time in this focused window just to peel back the curtain and think about our customers in the plumbing and HVAC trade. So what are some of the demographics of your customer? And on your worksheet, I'm asking you guys to fill this out on your own. In chat box, go ahead and pop what you have in here, what you've come up with. And I'll share kind of our experience based on our typical client, what we're finding to be the case. Typically, your customer is a homeowner. They're 35 years old plus. A lot of times it's the female that makes the buying decision or the one that's home or making that call. Typically, on average, married with 2 to 3 kids. They're the head of the household. Annual household income, and this one really varies, right? We have markets where it's a lot higher, markets where it's lower, about $65,000 annual household income. Family-oriented, reliable, easily frustrated, not handy, takes an interest in their community. This is going to be different for all of you, but if you just spend a little bit of time fleshing this out, it will help you get clarity on who your ideal customer is. And with clarity on who your customer is, you can develop messaging that's going to resonate. So those are the demographics. The psychographics are more, what are their fears, what are their pains, what are their frustrations? So from a pains and frustrations perspective, obviously one of their pains is their plumbing or HVAC is not working, right? The water's not hot or the air conditioning is not cooling. But deeper than that, some of their frustrations are they can't get a plumbing company or HVAC company on the phone. If you think about your typical buyer journey, right? They're sitting at their home, the plumbing's not working, they know they need to get somebody to come out. They go to Google and they run a couple searches and they start calling. And you'd be surprised, and I'm sure a lot of you guys run really good operations, but you'd be surprised how often, and I've done this, I call the plumber and nobody answers. I get a voicemail and it's like, man, I'm frustrated because I can't get anybody to even answer the call. I'm trying to give them money to come out and solve my plumbing issue. They've got a problem that needs to be resolved. They're too busy to deal with it. They've got a lot of things going on. They've got a family. They've got work. And this is just a frustration. It's something they have to deal with. And potentially they're worried that it could be harmful for their family. And then what are some of their fears and the implications of those fears? Well, they're afraid to get ripped off, right? How many of you guys have heard the story where the homeowner calls somebody in and for a very basic job, something that could be done for a couple $100, they get charged a couple $1,000? They're really worried they're going to be that guy or that gal. They're worried about paying too much for something they could have gotten somewhere else. They're worried about having their home damaged by faulty workmanship, having to wait around for the plumber, and this is a big one. Being inconvenienced, trying to coordinate with the plumber, and worst of all, they're worried that they're going to take time off from work. They're going to be home for the plumber. They're going to have to call the boss and say, hey, I've got something going on at the house. I need to be home today. And then have the plumber or the HVAC contractor not show up. I mean, this is real. When you get down to it, these are some of the things that they're most concerned about. And so just spend a couple minutes on your worksheet thinking about what are the fears and implications for your customers? What are their goals and desires? Obviously, they want peace of mind. They want the job done quick. They just want to move on with their life. They just want to get it done. Not worried necessarily about how much it's going to cost, even though that's a concern. But if they can get it done without being inconvenienced, a lot of times that's what your ideal customer really wants. And the reason this is so important that every year you kind of reset your mentality and you think, okay, what is it that my customer wants? What are their fears? What are their apprehensions? What are they thinking about before they hire me? Is because as you market to generate those hundreds of leads that you need to make sure that marketing resonates with your customer. And if you can see Joe Jones, or in this case it probably should be Jill Jones, through Joe Jones' eyes, then you can sell what Joe Jones buys. And so because you've done this, you can start to craft messaging that will resonate with that ideal customer. So hopefully you've kind of drilled down on this, and let's see if anybody has any additional comments or thoughts to add on this particular topic. So Tara's saying it's pretty close to the characteristics you've described, all right? So right on point. And then Brendan says also the fear of poor customer service. Yeah, and I think that kind of goes along with the person being rude to them on the other side of the phone, the person not knowing the answer to their question. So absolutely, it's a great fear to add to the list. So with clarity around who your customer is, Now you can figure out what's the message. Why is someone going to choose you versus the competition? And I can assure you there's a major difference between messaging that resonates and messaging that's just uninteresting. You could spend $1,000 in pay-per-click with messaging that's just blah, and get very little return, or you could have messaging that's right on point and get a very nice return on investment. That's why this is so important. So let's spend a little bit of time to craft your message. And so on this page in the worksheet, we're about the 6th page in, it's, why should somebody choose to do business with you versus the competition? And what benefits do you offer to your target customer? So spend a little bit of time working this out. And if you don't mind, post it in the comments box just to kind of help everybody collaborate and share. And I'll kind of share, again, based on what we've just talked about, if we just take it the next step, what messaging is it that works well? What we're finding, same-day service or emergency service, right? They don't want to be inconvenienced. So if they know that people are available that same day, that's extremely powerful. Straightforward pricing, upfront pricing with the satisfaction guarantee, that kind of takes that fear of, am I going to get ripped off? Are they going to tell me one thing and then give me something different? If they break it, are they going to take care of it? Trustworthy technicians with experience, are they going to do it right? Are they going to break something? And that gives you the ability to make this kind of case, right? Fast same-day service, money-saving offers, 24 hours with no overtime charge. And some of you are snickering at me right now. I get it. Clean-cut professional technicians. They're going to leave your home cleaner than they found it. And great service, guaranteed. It might sound like this is standard stuff that just about everybody does, but I'll tell you, the companies that are doing millions of dollars a year in revenue, that have massive growth and momentum, you'll find this is the kind of messaging they're putting out, right? Because it speaks to that customer's fears, concerns, apprehensions. So I'm not saying this is exactly what you should use, but try and really think, what can you do to position yourself uniquely that meets that customer where they're at and enters that conversation that's already going on in their head. So hopefully this is useful. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it's just that important that you thought through market, message, and then media. So any additions to this? Anybody else have something they can say that is their unique selling proposition? Okay, so Jermaine is saying upfront pricing, quality work, same-day service, warranty on work done. Very good. And Brendan's saying family-oriented business. Absolutely. There's something to be said for family orientation. It kind of means if you position it right, and I'll kind of share some examples of this done well. If you position it right, they see pictures of the family, and kind of it gives you that sense that this family has, they live off this business. Their reputation is important to them. The quality of service, the local community is important to them. So all I would say, rather than just saying, hey, we're family oriented, connect the dots. Why is that important to me? Does that mean you're going to show up on time? Does that mean that I'm going to get good service? Does it mean that you're going to stand behind your word? So if you do that, just make sure you connect the dots on it. So Tiara says a higher standard of plumbing service, period. I like that. And so Billy says it's a Trump supporting business. That's kind of, could go both ways. Some people might love that. Some people might dislike it. One of our clients in Texas has got a big, I don't know, it was either like anti-Obama or it was pro-Trump. And I remember telling him, hey, that's like kind of a polarizing perspective to take. Do you find that it costs you more business or makes you more business? And he goes, I might have lost a few customers over the years, but I get a lot more business from it because that's how our ideal customer thinks. So, that's a decent addition. And so we'll use one more example here from Jeff. And Jeff says, with over 78 years of business, our family of technicians from the local Cleveland area are here to solve any plumbing issue, from a leaking faucet to replacing the entire plumbing system. Very nice. Very nice example. So this is good. This is powerful stuff. Make sure that you got clarity on who your ideal customer is and leverage it, right? So armed with this messaging, now you can start to infuse it into all of your marketing, right? Into your billboard ads, into your TV ads, into your print ads, onto your website, into your social media posts, because the message is extremely important. It has a major impact on how well or poor your return on investment is going to be from your various marketing activities. So from there, we can transition to what I think is the foundation of all your online and offline marketing initiatives in 2018, and that's your website. The fact is, everybody, for the most part, is going to end up at your website before making a buying decision, whether on their mobile phone, on their desktop. If they heard your radio ad, if they've seen your TV ad, if they clicked your pay-per-click campaign link, they're going to wind up at your website. And if that website fails to resonate and doesn't convert well, all of your advertising will be depressed as a function of it. So it really makes a lot of sense to think about your website. How effective is it at converting a visitor to a caller? And there's some very specific things you can do, borderline, basic things you can do that will have a major impact on how well your website converts. And so I'm going to pull up an example of a website that had a massive turnover from traffic not converting to traffic converting really well. And I want to draw some parallels. And as I do this, I want to put out to you guys that are on the call live, if you'd like to have me pull up your website live with a group and kind of give you my feedback on how it could potentially be converting better, or maybe just to give you a thumbs up about how good it converts, in the comments box, type in your website address. I'm kind of preceding that now because it usually takes a couple minutes for you to get up the gumption and put your website up there. So let me pull up this example, and this is Lanny's. They're a plumbing HVAC electrical company out of Fargo, North Dakota, and this is their website. And the reason I wanted to pull this up is because there's a lot of elements that you need to make sure you mirror on your website if you want to maximize conversion. The first is having your phone number up in the top right-hand corner on every page of your site. What we find is visitors that get to your website, and we've done heat map studies on this where we can see where the mouse is kind of gravitating, and we know the eyes naturally gravitate to the top right-hand corner. So this area up here, and sometimes it's right in the center, sometimes it's a little bit off to the right, but we found it really works well, have the logo on the left top, have the phone number in the top right. The second is to make sure that you leverage authenticity. And this is one that I often see overlooked. And authenticity is it real, right? You get to a website, it might have really pretty graphics, it might look really nice, but do I get a real sense of the true people behind the company? Is there a picture of the owner, you? Is there a picture of your team? Is there a picture of your operation? We've split tested this, websites that are just stunningly beautiful but completely generic versus websites that might look nice but are truly authentic, where you see the real people. And the websites that are authentic convert significantly better. So you'll see in this case, Kevin Wolf is the owner of the company. He's got his face front and center on the website. You've got a picture of his shop right on the website. Local credibility symbol, the fact that he's the Chamber of Commerce Choice Award person. And as you scroll down, you really get a sense for the authenticity, the real guys in the company doing the real work. That has a major impact. So if you don't have that authenticity on your site, get it on there. The next is making sure that there's messaging that resonates. We spent a lot of time on this already in today's session, thinking about what is it that people need to hear. So never an overtime charge. Legendary lifetime furnace guarantee. I don't have to worry about whether or not he's going to stand behind this warranty. Free second opinions. And as we scroll down, it really makes the case, right? Friendly experts, fast response time, upfront service, one-stop resource, honest advice, competitive pricing. So I'm the customer and I'm thinking, man, I want to choose the right company to come out and solve my problems. And they're not reading the entire site, but they get enough because they see the authenticity, they see some of the messaging that resonates with them. That's what makes it convert really well. Now, there's a lot of other things you can do to improve conversion and to maximize conversion. The other is having a web form like this where they can simply enter their contact details, make it really simple to get in contact with you. You'll notice that this web form kind of follows you down the page as you go. So no matter where you're at on the site, you're getting that option to submit contact details. The other massively important thing from a conversion perspective is to make sure that your website is mobile optimized. So it fits on their mobile phone. We're finding something like 60% of traffic going to 2018 is coming via mobile devices. And that number is just going to continue to rise. People have a plumbing HVAC problem. They're taking out their phone as opposed to going to a desktop. So make sure that it fits. There's an easy click to call button where they can just tap it and be calling your office. If you're not optimized for mobile, you're probably bleeding traffic and conversion opportunities. So really think about that and make sure you've looked at your website from that perspective. And so I have one person that's volunteered their site. Maybe we get a couple others in here. We can pull that up as we go. But I've got a cheat sheet for you that I want to offer you. If you go to plumberseo.net/cheat sheet, you can download this. It's a wireframe of really the areas on your site where you should put these conversion elements in order to maximize conversion. Again, this is based on our experience rolling out almost 250 plumbing and HVAC websites in major markets, split testing, figuring out what works, figuring out what message is most compelling. And so this is what we're finding has the biggest impact. And so just as an example, I wanted to share landings with you because on the left here, we've got the old landing site, and it was kind of a basic commercial-centric site, didn't have the authenticity, didn't have the personality, didn't really have anything that made them stand out versus the competition. And then we have the newer version of it, which I just showed you, and of course it's constantly changing, constantly being updated. But this is the power of effective conversion. Before we had time to really drive a lot of traffic or do anything different on the site, they were averaging about 55 calls per month via this website, the old one. Then we rolled out the new website, and within about a 1 month span, it almost 6 times more conversion. As a matter of fact, they had 317 calls from the same traffic. And that's the power of making sure that you've got conversion. They've got a big brand. They're well recognized in their area. They do a ton of advertising. But their website, the hub, where people were winding up before they made a buying decision, was failing them. And so if you look at your websites, where can I improve? Where's the opportunity to maximize my conversion rates? I've got a little checklist for you. And hopefully you've got your worksheet out and you can track along with me on this. But does it speak to your customer avatar? Does it have the messaging that we just went through? And does it address their fears, frustrations, and pains? Are you going to show up on time? Are you going to have honesty? Are you going to stand behind your work? Does it use real authentic imagery of your team on the homepage and throughout the site? If not, this may be the one insight you go back and say, hey, look, let's hire a photographer. Let's get some pictures. Let's incorporate it into the homepage. That will impact your conversion, I promise you. Does it have video elements on the site? Website welcome, videos for each of your services, video explaining some information on why they should contact you versus the competition. If you don't have any video on your site, we're in a video-based world. Video is going to help with SEO. It's going to help with on-page. It's going to help with conversion. But it will definitely help with conversion. So if you don't have video, maybe that's the opportunity for you to check in. Does it showcase online reviews prominently where people can see not just what you say about yourself, but what others are saying? And so there are great widgets and tools for this, whether it's Bird Eye or Review Buzz or Nearby Now. Make sure on your homepage, on the subsequent pages of your site, there's a place where they can see the feedback, they can see the reviews, and they can get that social proof, which gives them that higher level of trust for you as an organization. And are the basic fundamentals intact? So the fundamentals are phone number in the top right-hand corner, web form where they can quickly enter their details, and authority symbols, like we saw on their site, the Chamber of Commerce, BBB, Angie's List Best of Award. And you have call to action at the bottom of every page. This is basic, but it gets missed in a majority of cases. You got a big block of text that you wrote. Make sure at the end of every page it closes with, so call us now at this number to schedule your appointment, or click here to schedule a call. It doesn't have to be that exact wording, but make sure there's a call, right? You're telling them exactly what to do. Now, the other thing we're finding from a conversion perspective that works really well is having live chat on the site. So I'm just going to pull up Valley Plumbing, and they're in Salt Lake City, Utah. And so another good site, lots of personality, lots of authenticity. And you can see there's the owner, there's the picture of his guys, messaging on why to choose Valley versus the competition. But the other thing that we've added just in the last couple months is this live chat. And somebody can engage on chat. And you might say, do people really do that? Like, do they want to chat with people? Absolutely they do. And they're doing it more and more from their mobile phones and from their desktops. There's lots of good chat applications out there. This chat service is actually Home Service Chats. They're active in Nexstar and a lot of the groups. We've rolled it out to some of our top clients, and they're getting great results from it. So if you haven't looked into it, Home Service Chats, they'll actually do the chatting for you. So on the other side, they've got trained, best-in-class dispatchers, kind of like what you should have in your staff. But these guys are trained in the Nexstar way, and they don't just chat. They ask questions, they engage, they get to the details. When the customer's ready to convert, they pick up the phone, they contact the customer and connect them with you or your team. And in every case we've rolled this out, it's just been really enhancing conversion rates. So that's something to test out and something to consider. So what I want you to do is spend a couple minutes, and this is your action item here, is what are 3 conversion elements that you can implement on your website Q1 to improve conversion? And there's a lot of things to choose from there. I want you to come up with 3. And while you're working on that, I want to pull up 1 or 2 live examples and pull them up. So Tiara offered to let us pull up One Stop Plumbers. So this is One Stop Plumbers, and I'll just kind of share based on what you know now, right? You just went through a whole conversion optimization mini training. What's good, what's bad, what can be improved. And I'd say my first sense is this is pretty good, right? We've got reviews up here, we've got our phone number, we've got a web form. The one thing that stands out to me that could be +1 on this page is real people. So it's nice that you have the van, and it looks like a nice van that's well wrapped, but if we could see the owner, if we could see the team, I'd feel more trusting of that than an anonymous van. Now, anonymous van is better than a stock photo, so this is good, but the next level here would be to do that, to have a picture of yourself or the owner or the team. See, messaging, number 1 goal, satisfaction, top 5 reasons should hire us, honest service, best value, high standard, great, speaking directly to the customer avatar. We've got a video. I saw a picture
Hi,
of
my name
booties.
is Conrad from One Stop Plumbers, and this is my beautiful wife, Tara.
Tara.
We own One Stop Plumbers here in Corona, California.
I'm not going to play the whole video, but this is really good, right? Video of the owner, here's who we are, the owner and his wife. Love that. So to me, you guys are a great couple. You're the real people behind this company. That photo needs to be up here, right? To me, this is a one-man band. Doesn't seem like, nothing wrong with it, but it will convert better if you have your 2 faces up here. The other thing is, and this is just an easy tweak, I see this video and I see the booty, and that's obviously selling, proposition. You're going to show up, you're going to keep the home clean. But a much stronger thumbnail
Hi, my name
would be
is
this, right? It's real people again. Now I'm seeing you guys. I'm like, I want to see what this guy's going to say. I don't know that I want to see what the booty has to do with it. So within settings on YouTube, you can set this or some other still frame. I would choose this as the still frame if that makes sense. And feel free to post some follow-ups on that. Let's see, plumbing specialties. Good. So you kind of buried the lead, right? In newspapers, they always say make your headline at the top, and if there's a good headline, people will keep reading. You've got your lead down here, like good, strong, authentic imagery. The team. Look at this. This is awesome. We got to get that up here. You're burying the lead here. So all in all, I think it's a really good website. I think this probably converts very well. I think a couple of those tweaks can make a big impact on how well this converts. So I hope that helps. Good. She says good feedback. Let's do one more. I'll make this quick because we still got a lot to cover. This is Kyle, from Home Heating Service. All right, so we got homeheatingservice.com. We've got a video here. Okay, I like that. You got a real technician, real authenticity, a little bit of moving action here. phone number, quick call. I'm sure this is built specifically for mobile, which is nice. Lots of authenticity. So I think this is really good. It's got a lot of really powerful messaging in it. Visual elements that are going to convert well. I would think about making this welcome and the phone number maybe a little bit darker, more pronounced, maybe a different color because it's getting lost in the background. And so maybe a little bit more about why people should choose home heating service versus the competition. So, no heat, no cool, leaky water faucets. Tell me why I'm going to choose you, right? You're going to show up on time. You're going to answer the phone live. You're going to keep the home clean. Other than that, I think it's a really strong site. But those are some just some things you could do to even make this better. So thank you both for volunteering your sites. I think that this helps to kind of close the loop for those of you. You're like, okay, let me see some real world examples of this in play. And so doing this type of stuff, making these types of changes will impact your conversion rate. So I want you to spend a couple minutes right now and just commit to 3 things that you're going to update on your website that will improve conversion. And in the chat box, just go ahead and pop in, these are the 3 things I'm going to do. Again, accountability is important. And if you just think of it, maybe I should throw some pictures up, or maybe I should throw a video, maybe I need to add a phone number in the top right-hand corner. That'll only get you so far. Go into the chat box, type in what you're actually going to do, and watch it happen. Come on, guys. All right, so Tom says he's going to add some video to the site. He's going to write some updated messaging that speaks to the customer audience. Good. Okay, so good stuff. Now we've got clarity on where we're looking to go, how we can improve conversion. The other thing we should really pay close attention to before we dive headstrong into all of the different media and all of the different things we can do to generate leads is to make sure we've got tracking in place. The last thing I want you to do is just go out, start spending a lot of money in various things and not be able to tell whether what you're doing is generating good results and a return on investment. So always foundational as you look at the year and you look at what you're going to do, you have to put tracking in place. And there's 3 key pieces of information that you want at a minimum. There's lots more that you can put in place. The first is call tracking. If you're running internet marketing, SEO, pay-per-click, social media, and you're not tracking the calls and you can't record the calls, then you really are flying blind. So you have to put some type of call tracking in place. The second is you have to have some type of mechanism to figure out how much you spent, how many calls you generated, and what your average cost per lead is. Otherwise, again, you're not really going to know whether what you're doing is good, bad, or indifferent. And ideally, you want to have some type of simple dashboard to measure your key performance indicators, or KPIs. So here's an example of a KPI sheet that we tend to present that works really well. On the top left-hand corner, we got total leads, and that's pulling in all calls tracked via the internet, plus web forms submitted. In the center, we've got the total investment. That's SEO, pay-per-click, management fees, the whole 9 yards. And then we've got an average cost per lead. And so that's simple math, right? How much did you spend? How many leads did you generate? What's your average cost per lead? And then being able to drill down and see where those leads came from. It's really important to be able to carve out how many came from organic, how many came from pay-per-click, how many came from Google Maps, how many came from web forms. And to the extent you can at least say, here's how much I spent, here's how many leads I generated, you're gonna struggle to scale your online marketing. So I really suggest, at a bare minimum, spend some time, put together a basic sheet. There are lots of tools for this, whether you just use plain old Excel, and that's a manual way to do it, and it's fine. There's Google Sheets. It's a web-based platform. And then there's more sophisticated things that you can use that will build dashboards like this, like Gecko boards and other industry-specific tools. But just make sure you have a way to tell what's what. So in the comments box, let me know how you're tracking things today. Do you have the ability to listen to calls? Do you have an easy way to figure out what your average cost per lead is? These are things you want to be thinking about. So we covered a lot. We're about 45 minutes in. We've got clear goals for 2018. More importantly, we got clarity on how many leads we need to generate to hit our goals on a monthly basis. We spent some time getting clear on who our customer was so we can craft messaging that speaks to our target audience. We've looked at our websites to figure out, are they really optimized for conversion, and come up with some specific things we can do to improve conversion, because that's where all of our marketing is going to end. And we've put together a simple dashboard where we can get clarity on how much we spent, how many leads we generated, and what our average cost per lead is. And from here, we've got the framework to say, okay, now how do we generate leads? How do we buy traffic? How do we really ramp up the lead flow in order to accomplish our goals? And so I want to unpack what I call our digital dominance method. And this is based on our years of experience, again, working with hundreds of plumbing and HVAC companies across the country. And it really just outlines in sequential order the online marketing initiatives you need to be paying attention to and the ones that are going to be most important for you going to 2018. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it, but I want to make sure that as we leave today's session, you've got clarity on what the opportunities are and what 2 or 3 initiatives that you're not properly tapping into today, you can run headstrong into, have tracking in place, and make sure that it's a scalable, growable marketing initiative. So number 1 on our digital dominance method is search engine optimization. This kind of goes hand in hand with your website. You got to have a good website. It has to be strong copy that's going to convert well. It has to be optimized for the search engines. And so I can't go too deep on that in today's session because we've got limited time, but you need to have pages for each of your services. You need to have your keywords in the titles and the H1s. You need to have good, proper on-page optimization and a process for building links, for building citations, for building online reviews. And to the extent that you do that, this is the number 1 source of good quality, low cost leads on the internet. As I look at our client base, still a majority of their leads come from SEO. I mean, a lot of our guys are spending $10, $20, $30,000 a month in paid search, and it's powerful and it's scalable, but I wouldn't recommend doing that really in the absence of a good, strong foundation, good, strong website that's optimized and ranking in the non-paid listings. Fact is, more than 70% of the population still clicks the organic listings when they need search, despite how much Google's changed the paid search results, despite the fact that they're rolling out Google Home services in various markets. So step 1, good website, optimized to rank for the most important keywords in your area. Step 2, in my mind, especially if lead generation and lead growth is critical, number 2 is paid search. That's Google AdWords, it's Microsoft Search on Bing, and a lot of you are kind of grimacing and saying, oh man, I've done paid search, I paid Yodel, I paid Reach Local, we put a lot of money into pay-per-click and it just didn't generate ROI. Well, I want to encourage you that pay-per-click, when done correctly, when structured in a way that really ties into Google's quality score algorithm, can be extremely effective and it can be extremely scalable. And it's really probably just a function of the company that managed it for you either was taking too much off the top, they didn't understand the plumbing and HVAC industry and the services and the things people were typing, so they weren't able to get extremely relevant with the keywords to the text ads to the landing pages, and then the messaging failed to resonate with the customer, so the conversion wasn't where it needed to be. But I can assure you that when you get your pay-per-click strategy fleshed out, it can be extremely profitable, but more importantly, scalable. With SEO, you can go so far, right? You get your website set up, you start to rank for some of the non-paid listings, non-paid search results, but at a certain level, there's diminishing returns. Like there's not much else that can be done. Where with pay-per-click, you can almost unlimited scale your budget to generate more traffic, to generate more leads, and to generate more calls. That's why it's number 2 after you've got a good website foundation set up. And I'm just going to show an example of this because some people say, well, isn't SEO enough? Couldn't I just do some SEO and generate enough leads? And potentially you could. In a lot of cases, in a market, between 100 and 300,000 people, if you dominate from an SEO perspective and you want to get to, let's call it $1 million per year, SEO is usually enough to win the day. Maybe that gets you to 6 or 7 texts. But as you look to scale to the next level and you say, look, I need more leads, I need more consistency, that's where you really have to tap into paid search. And so I've got this example up. This is Falcon Plumbing. I used this as the example earlier. And you'll see in their case, they generate 82, in the last month, this is looking at December, they generated 82 leads via SEO, but 271 via pay-per-click. So if they weren't doing pay-per-click and spending in the neighborhood of $5K per month in pay-per-click advertising, they would be leaving 200 leads per month on the table. That's tens of thousands of dollars per month in revenue. So that's why you need to make sure you're not just doing SEO. Even though they rank really well in Miami, which is where they serve, for a lot of the keywords, they have more scalability in paid search. Another example I'm going to show you is Hull Plumbing, and they're in Oklahoma City. And so I'm just going to run a couple searches, that way you can see Oklahoma City plumber, there they are, number 1 on Google Maps. Oklahoma City drain cleaning, number 3 on Google Maps. Oklahoma City water heater repair, number 2 on Google Maps. And so they've got a good foundation, a good website that's built to convert. They rank organically for the majority of the keywords. Rich, when he started with us, was doing about $500,000 per year in revenue, and now he's got a full team of guys. He's on pace to do about $2 million next year. And the growth curve was stuck until we started to really get more aggressive in rolling out pay-per-click advertising. So the foundation was strong. Now we layer on pay-per-click advertising. So he generates about 78 calls plus 55 from Google Maps organically. But then with pay-per-click, about an extra $2,500 spend, he's able to generate an additional 66 leads, which of course is a major scaling factor, which gives him the ability to go out and hire that 1 or 2 extra techs and really keep the trucks running, keep business rolling. So that's why SEO and pay-per-click kind of go hand in hand, and that's why you want to treat them as a one-two punch. Any questions on that? I just want to pause, kind of look at the feedback here, see if anybody's got any questions on those first 2 parts of the digital dominance method. So Teresa's asking, and I think this goes back to the tracking board, would I count paid leads that I don't reach by phone, or just the ones I'm able to speak to, like Home Advisor? So on your dashboard, really that's looking raw, aggregated, how many leads came in. I would probably keep Home Advisor leads and Google Home Service leads in a separate bucket. That way, it's not coming across your total internet marketing, SEO, PPC, average cost per lead. So I hope that answers that question. But so Billy's asking if we have any good resources for how to do PPC well. Yes. So there's companies that do it. There's companies like ours that will do it. I'm also going to be sharing with you guys a process, a journey that you can join me on to do this stuff really well for yourselves and your business, or to hold your partners accountable. So yes, that's a good question, and the answer is yes, I do have some great resources for that. The next, number 3 in the digital dominance, is retargeting. I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar with this. It's become more and more common going into 2018. But SEO and pay-per-click have one purpose. It's to get people to your website that are in the market for what you do, right? And we're finding that people convert somewhere between 15 and 25%. So let's just call it 80% of the people when they get to the website were in your service area, they were looking for your plumbing or HVAC related services, and they didn't convert. So what retargeting does is it gives us the ability to stay top of mind with those folks that we spent so much time and energy and potentially financial resources to get to the site in the first place. So I've got a visual for this just to give you a sense. So we drop a cookie on their page, and now they left, they didn't convert, but because retargeting is set up, they're on Zillow, they're on ESPN, they start to see your banner ad. and it helps you remain top of mind. And what we're finding is that we combine these three, we can really maximize our conversion rate from visitor to caller, right? If they didn't convert because the website was so compelling, 2 days later, a week later, a month later, they see your banner ads, either on Facebook or on some other site, and you draw them back. So I really like retargeting. I found that it's pretty cost effective for plumbing and HVAC based on the amount of traffic that you typically get. And so that's number 3, is really just be aggressive, right? If you're going to play online marketing, do SEO, do pay-per-click, have retargeting in place. It's extremely synergistic and it works really well. Number 4 is paid online directories. So as part of SEO, you need to be in all of the places like Angie's List and City Search and Hot Frog and Best of the Web, and that's an SEO play. From an advertising and marketing perspective, though, a lot of these sites give you the opportunity to pay for premium placement. And so it really depends on a market-by-market basis. But if you want to be maximizing your lead flow and showing up all the places that your customers look, there's something to be said for advertising on Yelp.com, advertising on Angie'sList.com, potentially looking at House.com if you do remodeling and things like that. So as you look at your online marketing strategy and you start to build the playbook, definitely think about some of these paid online directories. Historically, Angie's List has been really good. In certain markets, Yelp.com, and I know a lot of you hate the way they filter reviews, can be really effective. So it really depends upon your market, but this is a test and measure type of thing. Find out what they'll charge, put a little bit of a budget towards it for a period of time, put a specific tracking mechanism in place for that advertising channel, and measure. If it's break even or better, it's probably a pretty good play because it's going to give you more exposure, it's going to help with your conversion rate, and you're getting customers, right? So you want to be thinking about that. Number 5 is how to drive more repeat and referral business. So 1 through 4 is about lead gen. How do we get people to raise their hand, hire our services so we can generate sales? But it would be remiss if you weren't thinking from internet marketing's perspective, how do we take the one-time customer and turn them into a repeat customer that uses us again and again, refers us to their friends? And the best way to do this is through email marketing and social media. So absolutely every single one of you should be active on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn. You should have those profiles set up. You should be posting to them on a consistent basis. But more importantly, you have to be getting your real customers, those customers that did business with you once or twice, to press the like button, to press the subscribe button, so that month over month they see your brand, they see your logo, they're exposed to you. So when somebody asks for a referral or when they need a plumber again, they remember who you are and they use you again. So that's social media. The other, even more obvious must is to collect the names and email addresses of all of your customers and put out an email newsletter. And this is so easy to do with a tool like Constant Contact or MailChimp or any other of the myriad of tools that do this. And just push out an email blast to your customers once a month. That's topical, that's personality driven, and has a special offer, some type of reason to do business. You know, one of the best examples of this is Daniel Cordova Plumbing. When they started with us back in, must have been like 2012, they were a brand new company. They had just started. Daniel was looking to aggressively grow, and in the period of less than a year and a half, he grew from 0 to over $1 million per year in revenue. And obviously the internet stuff and Yelp were all big drivers of that for him and his market. But, you know, in an interview I did with him on the Plumbing and HVAC Marketing podcast, I said, you know, what was his secret? Like, what was it that really helped you accelerate the growth? He said one of the most powerful things that he did was always collect the names and email addresses of his prospects and customers, put them into a newsletter that goes out via email once a month, and it's almost like he was just able to wrap his arms around his local customers and send out information that was relevant, but at the same time just kind of, hey, here's the fishing trip I'm up to, here's a drink that I like, just kind of like fun, non-invasive, top-of-mind marketing, and that helped him just drive tremendous repeat and referral business. So that's a huge piece of your puzzle. You know, some people get so focused on brand new leads, they forget, look, we got to turn that one-time customer into a repeat customer. Number 6, pay-per-lead services. And again, you guys are grimacing, just like you kind of did with PPC. there's lots of pay-per-lead options out there, from Home Advisor, eLocal Plumber, eLocal HVAC, networks. And the big dog in this hunt right now is Google Home Services. It's become extremely popular. Google has rolled it out kind of in all of the major markets. They're going to continue to aggressively roll it out. The way it works is their home service listings show up above maps and directly below PPC. It's kind of shifting from time to time. And you have to get a background check. Your techs have to get a background check to get added to the platform. But once you're on there, you only pay per lead generated. Google sets you up on an app. You get leads come in. You close the leads. They charge you every time a qualified lead happens. What I'm finding today, 2018, those leads are running somewhere between $25 and $40 per lead, depending upon the market, depending upon the service that you're taking. And the return on investment is very strong. If you run a good quality operation, you've got an aggressive sales process to follow up on leads. Those are very affordable leads that are coming straight from Google, which is high quality traffic. If Google's active in your market, it needs to be on your radar. You should probably already have signed up. If you haven't, you've got to get yourself on the waiting list and through the process, because it's going to become a bigger and bigger player, and you don't want to miss the boat as it relates to that particular pay-per-lead platform. The others, Home Advisor and networks, you could do with or without. Where I like those as part of your overall strategy is it's extra leads, right? If you're slow, you can turn the leads up. If you're busy, just focus. You're busy enough from SEO and pay-per-click and the other channels that are generating quality traffic, you can always just lower it to the minimum. But as you look at dominating and really maximizing your lead flow, that has to be part of what you're thinking about. So those are the first 6. Number 7 and number 8, I'll breeze through real quick. Number 7 is Facebook and social media advertising. This is still pretty new. We are still beta testing. I can't point to a lot of case studies where social media advertising is generating a great return in plumbing and HVAC, but it does have some unique properties where you could say, I want homeowners in my service area that have a $100,000 disposable income, and I want to hit them relentlessly with my messaging. And this is especially relevant if you're doing TV, if you're doing radio, if you're doing billboards. Your average cost per 1,000 impressions is extremely high. With Facebook advertising, you can saturate a target demographic for a lot less. And if you're doing that kind of brand advertising, it's something to pay close attention to. So that's the digital dominance method. These are the big picture things you should be looking at. And what I want to do right now is get really clear on, out of those things, right? SEO, pay-per-click, social media, email marketing, what are the 3 initiatives that you can implement going into 2013 to really increase your lead flow? And I'm not going to go through this worksheet right now. Those of you guys that stick through to the end, you'll have it. I actually believe it might be in your workbook. It appears that it is. This gives you the plan, right? If you go through this, it will tell you, is your website optimized for search? Do you have pages for each of your services? Is your keyword in the title tag? Do you have unique content on every page? Are you helping Google understand your true service area? And you can check mark yes, or you can circle no. And if you go through this worksheet, you will have a lot of clarity around 5 or 6 critical things that you can use in order to immediately have an impact on your results. So spend some time after today's session, go through this sheet, and you'll have a very clear picture of where there's room for improvement. So some of you, real quick, in the comments box, tell me what you're going to do. What are the top 3 initiatives you're going to implement to get this, to really maximize your lead flow? All right, so Billy says, going to revisit my pay-per-click campaign, make sure I have tracking in place, and start email marketing. Okay, perfect. And if all you did was those 3 things in the first quarter, you would definitely see an impact. So I'm going an hour now. I've got a lot more stuff to cover. I appreciate you guys' attention. It looks like a lot of you guys have stuck with me throughout the course of today's call. Some of you want to learn, and that's awesome, and I've got something for you. Others of you just want to hire out. You want somebody that can do this for you. They can do it right. If you'd like to talk with us, I will say we only work with one company in each major market. So a lot of markets are already closed. We're very selective with the companies we choose to work with. But if you feel like we might be the right company to implement for you, to set up your website, to make sure your pay-per-click campaign is working correctly, we can do that. We'd love to talk with you, whether it's a fit or not. If you'd like to do that, give us a call, 866-610-4647, completely no obligation. We'll look at your website, we'll look at your rankings, we'll look at your pay-per-click campaign, and we'll tell you, look, here's where you're at today. Either there's room for improvement or there's not. And if you want to work with us, here's what we would do. Here's how much it would cost. So if that's of interest to you, I'd love the opportunity to chat. Again, the number is 866-610-4647. So let me ask you a question. Are you getting value from today's webinar? Have you gotten a couple nuggets that you feel like you can go back and implement? Yes. Yes. A lot of people typing yes. Okay, good. So here's what we covered. We set goals for 2018. We've got the 3 fundamentals for marketing success. We spent some time thinking about our customer. We've talked about how to optimize the website for conversion. We looked at the big picture and all the different online marketing initiatives that we could put in place. And we developed a custom plan, at least for the top 3 things we can go back and execute in your plumbing or HVAC business over the next 90 days. But how many of you guys feel like you want more? And so in the comments box, if you could just put, I do. So you got a lot of yeses in there. Good. Glad you guys are still hanging in with me. You're still getting value. Okay, so a lot of I do's. I'd like to invite you to join me on a journey that we can go through together to make 2018 your best year ever and really maximize your lead flow, your sales, and your revenue via the internet. After doing this for almost 7 years, what I found is information alone will only get you so far. And sitting on webinars like this, it's useful, it's good, it gives you information, but you also need accountability, you need tools, you need resources, you need help to go out and implement this stuff. And so that's why we developed what I'm calling the 2018 Online Dominance Blueprint for plumbing and HVAC contractors. And much more than a course, it's really a journey. And it's a journey that I'd like to invite you to go on with me and my team. And so yes, you'd get access to the Online Dominance Blueprint, which is an online website portal that goes deep in how to market your plumbing or HVAC business online with some specific how-tos. But it's really more of an iterative access type of thing where you have access to me, you have access to several hundred other plumbing contractors going through this journey with you, and you have ongoing updates on what's changing and access to the best tools and resources. So really the Online Dominance Blueprint is all about helping you drive more leads and more calls in your plumbing or HVAC business to truly maximize your lead flow. And here's what it is, here's what you get. You get monthly live trainings with me and my team where we can go deep on the most important initiatives, right? So today's session was about the big picture, but on a monthly basis, we'll drill down. We'll get specific on the website. What's the best website setup platform? How do you set it up so it can convert as well as possible? On a separate session, we go deep on search engine optimization. What pages should you have on your website? Where do you need to put your keywords? How do you get those pages to rank in organic search? All the way down the list to pay-per-click and social media and everything else. And so there's a lot of value in that training and in those insights. And so that's a big part of it. The other is you get the already recorded 8 modules, audio and DVD training of just that, right? What we've done over the years, how to truly market your plumbing and HVAC business online. And it's already out of the box in a member site that you log into and you can access. But probably the most important thing is you have your own internet marketing brain trust. And really what this means to me is rather than just having a vendor or having a training portal, you have a group of experts that really understand the plumbing and HVAC industry, really understand internet marketing, and can be a third party, an impartial third party that can look at what you're doing, whether you have a team in-house doing it, whether you're doing it on your own, or whether you have a third party that you've hired, somebody that can look at what you're doing, not to poke holes in it, but to say, how do we make it better? How do we improve that? What little tweaks can we make to make this better? And it's not just me and my team, but it's also the other successful plumbing and HVAC companies that are part of this that are going through it with you. And so you have access to that both in a live Facebook group where you have an enclosed group of plumbing and HVAC business owners. I'm in there. The other business owners are in there. And then monthly ongoing calls with live Q&A where you can just show up. I get these 3 questions. Let's knock them out and have somebody to go to without feeling like you're being a burden, because it's part of what the program's all about. It's giving you that information. Swipe and deploy templates. To me, this is probably the most valuable piece of the equation because we've rolled out hundreds of plumbing and HVAC websites. We've posted thousands of blog posts for plumbing and HVAC companies. We've written tens of thousands of social media comments, and we've sent out email broadcasts. And so what we've done is we've taken the best of our tools and resources and we've put them in an easy to swipe format. So website content, design frameworks, email marketing templates. So you can just say January, February, March, I can't think of what to send. I'm going to copy and paste right out of the members portal into Constant Contact. You don't have to think about it. You have to tweak it, obviously, but you've got it. Video scripts. So we charge a lot of money to go out on site to our clients and shoot videos, website welcome, drain cleaning video. We've developed really good scripts that outline what you would say on those videos. And that's the biggest challenge. As I talk to plumbing and HVAC business owners, say, yeah, I would do videos, but I don't know what I would say. I would be afraid I would look stupid. So we actually give you a Word document with specific scripts. So you can just show up and read the script. Hey, welcome to our website. If you're on this page, you're probably having an issue with your drains. There could be 7 different reasons causing your drains to back up. Boom, boom, boom. If you're looking for professionals that can get out to your home today to unclog your drain, we're your guys. Call us today at this number. And we get scripts just like that for each of your different services that you can just get on camera, shoot, and then get the benefit of having video. And so those are just some examples. Adding to it on a consistent basis, really what it is swipe and deploy templates that you can just, okay, I need this, I've got it, I go out and get it done. Reference to the best tools and resources for winning online. So there's lots of tools out there, right? For how do you build online reviews? There's ReviewBuzz, there's Nearby Now, there's Pulse FM, there's all kinds of new tools. How do we build our citations, right, in order to get ranked? There's Yext, there's local site submit, there's all kinds of tools. What we do with this is we take our experience and our expertise on the best tools for marketing your plumbing or HVAC business, and we give them to you. So you say, okay, this is the best tool, or these are the 2 best tools that we recommend. So you don't have to think about it, you can just dive right in. And 2 online marketing reviews per year. And what I want to emphasize with this part of it is these 2 online marketing reviews are not veiled sales presentations. Like what I told you earlier, hey, call us up if you want to chat. We'll do a look at your website. That is a sales presentation, right? The purpose of that is to show you, hey, look, you've got some problems. This is how we would fix them, and this is how much we charge in order to do it for you. And I'll tell you, we charge in the $2,500 per month territory to do that stuff for you. These online marketing reviews come from a completely different perspective. As a member of the Online Dominance Blueprint, it's to have somebody third party, not trying to sell you anything, that can look at your website, that can look at your pay-per-click campaign, that can look at your social strategy and help you +1 it and help you tell you, hey, go back to your provider and suggest they change this or tweak that. 2 of those per year, worth a lot more than I've got written down. So if you add all of this up and the value of the different elements of the Online Dominance Blueprint, comes out to $12,500. That's the value of it. And honestly, if I were to sell it to you at $12,000, my question to you is, would it be worth it? If you knew that you could generate hundreds of calls every single month, be the truly dominant player in your market, have a scalable online marketing strategy for truly maximizing your lead flow, wouldn't it be worth $12,000 per year? And I think that the obvious answer is yes, right? There's lots of companies and examples, if you've been following me any period of time, I can point to companies that have gone from no presence to hundreds of calls, lots of them getting over $1 million per year in recurring revenue growth. So even at $12,000, this would be worth it. But that's not how I want to structure this. I want to make this something that you can affordably do, that I can update for you on a consistent basis, that our team can act as your brain trust and really help you maximize your opportunity online. And so really, this is my invitation for you to join me on this journey as part of the Online Dominance Blueprint for your plumbing or HVAC business in your area. And it's just $97 per month. That's it. $97 per month. You get access to the training. You get immediate access to the swipe and deploy tools that I've referenced. You have access to me and my team in the Facebook group and the other plumbing and HVAC businesses. So $97 a month. All you got to do is go to onlinedominanceblueprint.com. It'll ask you for your credit card details. I'll tell you two important things. First of all, it's month to month. So if at any point you say, hey Josh, I got my Dominance Blueprint stuff, I went through the training, and I know there's going to be ongoing support, but I don't need it anymore, no questions asked. Cancel it. That's not what this is about. This is really about helping to add value and help you grow. The other thing is that this is backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if you're not 100% satisfied, you can cancel at any point. We will refund your entire investment, no questions asked. This is not our core business. This is a core to what we do. We have, already several hundred people in the online training, but I want this to be a win. I want you to say, man, that $97 was some of the best $97 I ever spent, because I was able to change this on my site. I was able to tweak this on my pay-per-click campaign, and now I'm getting exponentially more in revenue. So 100% satisfaction guaranteed. And as a special bonus, we got a lot of you sticking with me for this part of the training, so I really appreciate you hanging in. As a special bonus for the first 10 people that sign up, and again, it's at onlinedominanceblueprint.com. As a bonus, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mail you the physical copy of the program. So I'm going to physically mail this to you. We sold it for $1,500 in the past. The entire blueprint with the CDs and DVDs, so you have something physical and tactile, as well as a copy of our book, as if you don't already have a copy of it, in the mail. And that's $1,500 value. For the first 10, I'm going to mail it out to you. It's included in the $97 per month. So again, just to recap, you get the monthly trainings with me and my team where we go deep. We answer your questions. The 8-module training that's available online. Your own online marketing brain trust. That's that third party that can just think about you and what's going to be in the best interest for you, not trying to sell you something or to try and keep you as a client. The swipe and deploy templates, to me, $97 per month, that pays for the program right there. Right? You're going to get your emails already written. You're going to get your social media posts already written. You're going to get your video scripts. It basically justifies the entire investment. Access to what we've found to be the best tools and resources. There's 2 online marketing reviews per year. Again, about how you plus one it, not what's wrong with it. And so again, I want to encourage you to join me on this journey. If you haven't already, the first 10 are going to get me to mail the physical Online Dominance Blueprint. Just go to onlinedominanceblueprint.com. And I'm going to open up for questions here at the end. Somehow I went backwards. Again, money replenishes, right? This is not a $97 put into a vacuum. The idea is this is $97 that gives you the insights and the understanding and the tools and the resources you need to generate tens of thousands of dollars a month in plumbing and HVAC service calls. We all know internet is where it's at. And I know most of you think, I just want to pay somebody and be done with it, right? I just want to pay somebody and have it done for me. The fact is, you need to know enough about this stuff to be dangerous, so that you can hold your team accountable, so that you can hold your marketing provider accountable, so that you can accomplish your goals. And quite honestly, if you don't see how this $97 is going to generate a significant return on investment, just ask for a refund. But there's no way that you're not going to be able to generate 1 or 2 new service calls a month to more than replenish the investment in this program. So onlinedominanceblueprint.com, go there and register now. We're coming to the end of today's live session, and really you have 2 choices. Choice number one, you kind of sit back on your heels, just, hey Josh, I got some good information here. I wrote down some notes, but I don't have the money to pay the $97, or I don't have the time to invest in really learning this stuff or implementing this stuff. And so your choice is to say, okay, that's it. And I'm not going to continue to learn. I'm not going to get the brain trust. I'm not going to get access to the swipe and deploy resources. And unfortunately, your business won't be able to grow to the extent that it should. Or option two, you could say, this is awesome. I know that there's things I need to learn. I know there's things I need to understand. I know there's tools I need access to. And you join the Online Dominance Blueprint now. And you're going to get immediate access to me, my team, my best resources. And I know for a fact, it's my personal mission to make sure that you see growth, you see expansion in your plumbing and HVAC business as a direct function of it. So I hope that you choose to join me on this journey. I hope you choose version number 2 or path number 2 and go to onlinedominanceblueprint.com. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to get to a page. It's going to say click here to get started. On that next page, it's going to ask your credit card details. You'll be billed $97 per month. Immediately after registering, you're going to get an email with access to the online site. That's where the training sits. You're going to get a link to join the Facebook group, and within 15 minutes, you'll have a place where you can engage with me on as frequent a basis as you want. You know, I'm on that Facebook group at least once a day, looking at the questions, answering them. You're going to get updated information on a consistent basis with what's happening in internet marketing and how to stay on the cutting edge. So onlinedominanceblueprint.com, again, the first 10 of you are going to get me to mail you the blueprint. So thanks for sticking around with me. The reward for those of you that stayed, and most of you did, so again, thank you. I'm going to send you lists of the most commonly searched keywords, the digital dominance method visual, as well as the online marketing checklist. To get that, just go to plumberseo.net/reward, and I will make sure that you have access to download all of these great resources again, which was as promised. And if you'd like to talk with us again, whether you join the Dominance Blueprint or not, whether you think you may or may not be a fit, honestly, I'd love the opportunity to talk with you about your business, talk to you about your goals, review your online marketing strategy, and see if we can help and we can work with you to really accelerate your lead flow and maximize your opportunity in 2018. So thanks for joining me. I'm going to open up for questions since there's still so many of you here with us today. And, you know, if you haven't already, go to onlinedominanceblueprint.com, register for your Online Dominance Blueprint, and I will be honored and excited to be part of your growth, and I'd be honored to have you on this journey. It will be an amazing 2018 with lots of new things and lots of new initiatives. So let's see if we have any questions. Let's see, lots of I do's in here, lots of I need helps, lots of yes, this sounds great. Teresa says, I wonder if I would be able to rebuild my website with this plan. I didn't build it to start with. So it depends. You know, if it's built on WordPress, there's a good chance you could get in, maybe change the theme, make the tweaks that you need to make to the titles and the H1s. If you're pretty technically savvy, this training will help to give you enough knowledge to be able to make some modifications. But it's really more about understanding the big picture, right? What's going to work, what's not going to work, what are the key things? And really what I would encourage most of you to do is go through the training, become knowledgeable enough to be dangerous so that you can hire people that are very technical and people that want to get in and make tweaks to the site. If you want to, by all means, I tend to say no so that you can delegate and get things done. But great question. So Jeremiah is asking, what was the website for the things for staying throughout the whole thing? Okay, so that's plumberseo.net/reward. So REWARD, I think. Let me confirm that. Yeah, reward. plumberseo.net/reward. What other questions do we have? Let's see. We've still got a good group of people on here. I'm here to answer your questions. I want to be of service. Ideally, if we're going to empty out here, put in the comments box 3 things that you're going to do as a function of today's training. 3 specific things, and we'll close on that. If you have questions, put those in too, and I'll address them before we wrap up today's call. So let's see. Comments box, where can I find the contents of the group chat? Bookkeeper for plumbers. That's Cindy. I guess that's your website. You do bookkeeping for plumbers. So a quick plug. If you need a bookkeeper that understands plumbing, sounds like she's a niche specific bookkeeper for plumbers. Jessica, more. I need help. Dan, hello. I asked this question but was not sure if you got it. I was wondering what software you use to track everything. Okay, so we use an agency specific tool called NinjaCat. And what it does is it pulls in analytics, it pulls in call tracking, it pulls in Google AdWords, it pulls in most of that stuff. And it generates that report to see how many leads were generated, how many calls were generated. So NinjaCat, as well as Ahrefs, if you join the program, we outline the tools that are best. So again, to join that, it's at onlinedominanceblueprint.com. Cindy's saying plumbers, HVAC, B&T, rewards generating an error. It may be, all right guys, I'm going to put this, that's a typo on my end. So it's plumberseo.net/resources. I'm just going to pull it up to confirm. Yeah, sorry guys, plumberseo.net/resources is the link, and then it downloads that all of those resources. You'll get to this folder right here, has the information. So sorry for that. I'll make sure that gets updated so that it links through correctly. What else? Any other questions that I'm missing? Lost my questions box here. Okay, so thank you guys so much for joining me on this webinar. I truly hope you got value. I hope you got a little more clarity on your plan for 2018. I'm here to support you. My true intention is to serve and to help you grow and accomplish your goals. Nothing gives me more energy, more passion. So if you need anything, feel free to reach out. If you'd like to talk, you can reach us at 866-610-4647. If you'd like to join me on this journey, go to onlinedominanceblueprint.com, and we'll be working together a lot more closer for the rest of the year. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great day, and we'll see you on our next live session.